He crossed to the bright side, avoiding the loose cellar flap of number 75. The sun was nearing the steeple of George's church. Be a warm day, I fancy, especially in these black clothes. Feel it more. Black conducts, reflects, refracts, is it? The heat. But I couldn't go in that light suit, make a picnic of it. His eyelids sank quietly, often as he walked, in happy warmth. Boland's bread van delivering with trays are daily, but she prefers yesterday's loaves, turnovers, crisp crowns hot. Makes you feel young. Somewhere in the east, early morning, set off at dawn. Travel round in front of the sun, steal a day's march on him. Keep it up forever, never grow a day older, technically. Walk along a strand, strange land, come to a city gate, sentry there, old rancour too, old tweedies, big moustaches, leaning on a long kind of spear. Wander through awned streets, turbaned faces going by, dark caves of carpet shops, big man, Turco the Terrible, seated cross-legged, smoking a coiled pipe. Cries of sellers in the streets, drink water scented with fennel, sherbet. Dander along all day, might meet a robber or two. Well, meet him. Getting on to sundown, the shadows of the mosques among the pillars, priest with a scroll rolled up. A shiver of the trees signal the evening wind. I pass on. Fading gold sky. A mother watches me from her doorway. She calls her children home in their dark language. High wall, beyond strings twanged. Night sky, moon, violet, colour of Molly's new garters. Strings, listen. A girl playing one of those instruments. What do you call them? Dulcimers. I pass. Probably not a bit like it really. Kind of stuff you read in the track of the sun. Sunburst on the title page. He smiled, pleasing himself. What Arthur Griffith said about the headpiece over the Freeman leader. A home-ruled sun rising up in the northwest from the laneway behind the Bank of Ireland. He prolonged his pleased smile. Mikey touched that home-ruled sun rising up in the northwest. He approached Larry O'Rourke's. From the cellar grating floated up the flabby gush of porter. Through the open doorway the bar squirted out whiffs of ginger, tea dust, biscuit mush. Good house, however, just the end of the city traffic. For instance, Macaulay's down there, NG, as position. Of course, if they ran a tram line along the North Circular from the cattle market to the quays, value would go up like a shot. Bald head over the blind, cute old codger. No use canvassing him for an ad. Still, he knows his own business best. There he is, sure enough, my bald Larry, leaning against a shug-up in his shirt sleeves, watching the aproned curate swab up with mop and bucket. Simon Dedalus takes him off to a tea with his eyes screwed up. Do you know what I'm going to tell you? What's that, Mr. O'Rourke? Do you know what? The Russians, there'll be only an 8 o'clock breakfast for the Japanese. Stop and say a word about the funeral, perhaps. Sad thing about poor Dignam. Mr. O'Rourke, turning into Dorset Street, he said, freshly, in greeting through the doorway. Good day, Mr. O'Rourke. Good day to you. Lovely weather, sir. 'Tis all that. Where do they get their money? Coming up red-headed curates from County Leitrim, rinsing empties, an old man in the cellar. Then, lo and behold, they blossom out as Adam Finlaters or Dan Tallons. Then, thin of the competition, general thirst. Good puzzle would be cross Dublin without passing a pub. Save it they can't. Off the drunks, perhaps. Put down 3 and carry 5. What is that? A bob here and there, dribs and drabs. On the wholesale orders, perhaps. Doing a double shuffle with the town travellers. Square it you with the boss and we'll split the job, see. How much would that tot to off the porter in the month? say 10 barrels of stuff. Say he got 10% off. Oh, more, 15. He passed St. Joseph's National School. Brats clamour. Windows open. Fresh air helps memory, or a lilt. A, B, C, D, E, F, G, K, E, L, O, N, O, P, Q, R, S, T, U, V, W. Boys, are they? Yes. Inish Turk, Inish Shark, Inish Boffin. At their geography, mine, Sleeve Bloom. He halted before Douglas's window, staring at the hanks of sausages, Polonese, black and white. 15 multiplied by 5. The figures whitened in his mind, unsolved. Displeased, he let them fade. The shiny links, packed with force meat, fed his gaze, and he breathed in tranquilly the lukewarm breath of cooked, spicy pig's blood. A kidney oozed blood gouts on the willow-patterned dish, the last. He stood by the next-door girl at the counter. Would she buy it too? Calling the items from a slip in her hand. Chapped, washing soda, and 1.5 pounds of Denny's sausages. His eyes rested on her vigorous hips. Woods, his name is. Wonder what he does. Wife is oldish. New blood. No followers allowed. Strong pair of arms. Whacking a carpet on the clothesline. She does whack it, by George. The way her crooked skirt swings at each whack. The ferret-eyed pork butcher folded the sausages he had snipped off with blotchy fingers, sausage pink. Sound meat there, like a stole-fed heifer. He took a page up from the pile of cut sheets. The model farm at Kinnereth on the lake shore of Tiberias can become ideal winter sanatorium. Moses Montefiore, I thought he was... Farmhouse, wall round it, blurred cattle cropping. He held the page from him. Interesting, read it nearer. The title, The Blurred Cropping Cattle. The page rustling. A young white heifer. These mornings in the cattle market, the beasts lowing in their pens, branded sheep, flop and fall of dung, the breeders in hobnail boots trudging through the litter, slapping a palm on a ripe meated hind quarter. There's a prime one. Unpeeled switches in their hands. He held the page aslant patiently, bending his senses and his will, his soft, subject gaze at rest. The crooked skirt swinging, whack by whack by whack. The pork butcher snapped 2 sheets from the pile, wrapped up her prime sausages and made a red grimace. Now, my miss, he said. She tendered a coin, smiling boldly, holding out her thick wrist. Thank you, my miss. And 1 shilling 3 pence change for you, please.